Well, hello and welcome to an exciting flight today where we are going to be practicing some engine outs in Kathmandu. It is part of the training that I require um, as as I have to eventually end up training for this sector. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, let's go ahead and start setting up the airplane. It's going to be a flight. I'm going to change the weather conditions to actually clear skies instead of live weather. So we get to see the valley that we are going to be flying. So we can make it a few clouds here and there. Maybe scattered will also do, but I'm just going to keep it at a few clouds. So this gives me a relative idea of what it will be, what we will be flying. All right, and since it's going to be a flight in the domestic area, um, we really don't have a flight plan. We're just going to be circling in the valley. So yeah, let's go ahead and proceed. Let me quickly start setting it up. So the pre-flight inspection is looking all right. Let's start setting up. The mode selector is normal. Both engine masters are off. The weather radar is off. Spoilers are retracted. The flaps are at zero. As we come here, the gear lever is should be down. Well, it is down now, and everything is looking all right. As we come up, the batteries are looking all right, so we can put them on and get the external going. And as the FWC fires up and all the tests are carried out, uh, we can enjoy the scenery, which is freely available on Flight Simulator of Tribhuvan International Airport. It's not a really big airport. It's, it's I mean, it's just enough to accommodate the traffic there. In fact, they require to maybe increase it. So they have a lot of land available here. Maybe they should consider increasing it a little more on that side. And it has a couple of bays here for most of the international flights, most of the uh, smaller planes, the twin otters, and the Chinese planes. They all park over there. These are mostly reserved for all the wide bodies and the narrow bodies that come and operate towards Kathmandu. So yeah, so that's all right. Expecting the FWC test again. Let's do a fire test, and that looks all right. While that is done, let's run our captain's check. I had the tone there. So that's nav one, nav two, nav three. Let's swing this over to status for the Iris one. That's time for nav of 7 minutes. Let's go to auto. The no smoking is done. Everything here looks all right. Let's put the battery switch is off and carry out a battery check. So elect page comes on here. And as we put the batteries on, oh, the amps have come down from 60 amps. So that looks all right. The fuel pumps can come on. We're going to do a basic loading of the airplane. That looks all right. And I'm starting the APU as well. All right, as we come down, QNH is set up to standard. It's going to be 1013. And 1013 is set here. Everything looks all right here. All right. Let me just initialize some bit of this. We don't have how do I reset this? So all I do is I need to cancel this. I have to figure out. It's all right. Reboot EFP. Right, let's go to ground services and the GPU is fine, all doors are closed. Let's get the mass imbalance running. And what I can do is I can actually set it up from the FMS. So let me just quickly do a Kathmandu to Kathmandu flight plan so we can proceed with that. So it's going to be VNKT slash VNKT. And we don't have an alternate, so we keep it that. And so flight number is going to be just Rockefeller 123. Can I keep the cost index at its arbitrary value? We're going to plan to about 11,500 as we do. The first takeoff is going to be a rather normal takeoff, doing the departure, joining the hold at Darkey. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. We sign in here. Let me search Kathmandu VNKT and let me open the charts. And so our first departure is going to be the Darkey 1 Alpha. For that, we shall be getting airborne from runway 02, and we make a sweeping right turn. Remember, this is the valley that we need to be in. So remember, this is 4 DME arc. We have to be within 4 DME, and as we proceed out, we proceed to Darkey. So I'm going to pin this chart for now. Just need to pin it, sorry. New pin board. VNKT. All right, so we got the Darkey on Alpha. We proceed to Darkey. Maybe join the hold or something in case required. Remember, the minimum hold altitude is 10,500. So we need to cross this valley at a particular point. I will brief you for the approach. And for the approach, they have localized the 02 now. Wow, I did not know about this. Anyways, we're going to be carrying out. Where's the VR02? Yeah, so that's VR02 via Darkey. And basically, the approach is do a DMER. And let me see if I can get the star going here. So that's going to be nope. Simra. Yeah, there it is. So from Darkey, we come in via all these points to Simra. So this one, sorry. Let me pin this as well. So what we do is we join the hold at Darkey, and this is actually an arrival via Darkey. So let me see. We saw a nice DMFR going on here. This time I did this. Found the hold over at Darkey. We are going to be also carrying out the RLP 02 as a practice, which involves the go around and then proceed via Darkey, come back in for another approach. That's Darkey over there, and then it says after Darkey we proceed to Daphne and hold. And after Darkey we can actually proceed direct. So as we see for the approach, the first one's going to be the VO approach. So I'm going to pin this, wherein we proceed via Guras. So after Darkey we can proceed, we can vector ourselves back to Guras, and then commence the whole approach. We're going to do a normal landing the first time around. The second time around, we're going to do a quick airborne takeoff, sweep back in, lose an engine. So I'm going to circle in the valley as we do that. Then climb out and proceed to Darkey on this departure, which is the Darkey 1 Alpha. So we circle in the valley until we reach a particular altitude, and we proceed to Darkey and join the hold. And then again, it's the 20 DMER to intercept DME to the Tango. So what's that? Tango is about 5, 10, 15, 20 miles. 20-mile point. and we commence probably another approach if you want to divert to an alternate. So that is the plan as of now. Uh, I'm just gonna arbitrarily put say 13,500 in the cruise altitude. The ground temperature is automatically taken in as 6 degrees, but it has been reported as 15. Flight plan numbers. The first departure is runway 026 straight. Okay, don't let me, I gotta do that whole thing again. I will have to do the whole thing again, I suppose. First departure is the K1 Alpha of runway 02. Oh, sorry, 20. So, my apologies, I selected the wrong runway. So let's go. Kathmandu departure is 20 K1 Alpha. Transition is Simra. Let's insert that. And as we see, we get airborne, make a sweeping turn, proceed to Dark and then eventually proceed via the DME arc to Simra to join holding in case required. We're not going to be doing that much. So I'm just leaving it with a discontinuity. However, I am planning an arrival for VOR02. It's going to be via Indra. And, let's insert that one. GPS is primary. Right, so as we look at our flight plan, it has removed the departure. So I'm going to re-put in the departure. Departure runway is going to be 02. No, here's a problem that always happens. Uh, Phoenix really doesn't like this kind of sequencing, so I'm gonna have to clear the whole flight plan. It is VNKT slash VNKT, and it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. So let me just put in rocket fella 1, 2, 3. That was the next of 10, and we're gonna be closing at 13,500. The ground temperature is 15 degrees reported. And I'm not going to be putting the arrival distance. It's in a departure runway 20 with the K1 Alpha with the transition to Simra. And let's see. So that the right now is going to be at Kilo Tango Mike on one side at least. And let's just copy the secondary. In a B, what I can do is I can set up the airplane for, let's stop with about 9 tons of fuel. Um, 0 can be about 55,000. I guess capacity 8 feet. Let's make that 50 tons. That gives me a gross takeoff weight of 59 tons. So we can auto populate this. Weight is 50 slash 26.6. We're taking 9 tons of fuel for this whole practice. We are not going to be bothering with this because it's really not an exercise. And what I can do is I can actually use this to calculate my takeoff performance. So let's do that. All right, Kathmandu runway 02 for departures. Thing It's going to be a tax of departure. We're going to be using the APU bleed for this. Temperature is all sunk in. Let's calculate. It's the weather is well above what is required. So it's 1 down 0.1. That's 1 slash down 0.1. The speeds of 58, 37, 40, 40. 58, 37, 40, 140. So there it is. We have our free flight completed. And the first takeoff is going to be a normal takeoff, so I'm not really bothering with too much. Okay, everything looks all right. Let's put this back. And here's something that we will be doing for reference. So I'm going to go to the fix page, put in Kilo Tango Mike, and put in a 4 DNR, so a radius of 4 miles. What this does is it gives me a nice circle of 4 miles. I'm going to zoom this in all the way. And until I reach my desired altitude, I'm not going to be leaving this 4 miles. I'm going to be circling in this 4 miles. And let's read the documentation for this departure that we have today. So it says, these are my company charts. So they say, here's the changes that from a standard departure that we need to make. Now we're doing dark departures. All right. Remember, the maximum time permitted for toga is with one engine is 10 minutes. We have to switch on terrain on ND on. Ideally, we should be doing it for both if there's no weather, but there is sometimes weather in this area, so we usually keep it on for one at least. So I'm going to be keeping on for both. This also goes all the way down. The next thing is set the thrust reduction and engine out acceleration to 9,500. So let's do that. So this will be 9500/9500. And the importance of this is that I do not cross this 4 mile point until I am above 9,500. The terrain is almost at 7.5. It shows here the top altitude of 7.1, but it's almost up till that 7.5. And it says do not leave 4 DME arc till achieve prescribed altitude. So the prescribed altitudes, if I put my constraints on, it says here 7,500. So until I'm well above 7,500, I am not going to be leaving this arc. This is my valley of safe zone. So I continue to be here as long as I can be, as much as I can be. I'm safe. I continue climbing whatever the temperature, whatever the weather is, until I'm well clear of the obstacles. And it says discuss review the cockpit RT failure procedures. The failure procedures basically we just continue climbing on the track, and we've set everything. We're going to limit our speed during takeoff all the way till we climb out. It's going to be at a maximum speed of 180 knots. So we'll try to keep it as low as possible. Our constraints are on for both sides, so that's on for both sides. Let's get the VORs running on both sides. And the altitude, I'm going to be setting 13,500 as that's the hold that is required at Dark Cave. And we come back from there pretty much. All right. The next step is we have to be conscious of the bowl effect. So remember, this airport is pretty much in this whole valley. It's like a big bowl in between with mountains all around. So we have to be a little careful of that, and to keep a constant watch on our RA, as that is a more accurate and a more realistic altitude that we will be using. All right, as that happens, I have a little takeoff procedure for an engine out. So it says in case of an engine out, it would be desirable to land at the earliest suitable earliest at the suitable airport. Hence, the aircraft should try to make a visual approach and land in case of met conditions permit. The following procedures are required for Kathmandu. So in case of a dark departure, which we are doing today, We're going to be taking off at a fix, but we will go full toga thrust as soon as we do realize in case of an engine out. We will select MCT after acceleration to clean up the aircraft at 10,500. So remember, 10.5 is the altitude at which we set MCT and start cleaning up. That is after the engine has been secured, and we have to obviously observe the maximum 10 minutes of thrust time. After that, we proceed to radial 298 to dark A at 20 dme KTM. We climb on radial 270, climbing to 11,500 at 20 dme at radial 270. We turn left to fly the 20 dme arc. At that point, we basically, it's in simple words, it's just telling you that we have to make this whole procedure, come back and land at Kathmandu. This is obviously if the weather is fine in Kathmandu. Because of this bowl effect, there's a lot of weather on approach. So sometimes it is advisable to in fact divert to nearest suitable airport. In most probable cases, we usually divert from Kathmandu to either Lucknow or Varanasi. Those airports do not have any terrain considerations as much as Kathmandu does. So yeah, that's about it. Let's do a normal takeoff the first time, get out of the valley, come back for a short and simple approach. Once we do land, we're gonna set it up for some failures. It's gonna be an engine out departure, coming back for an engine out landing, and the next one is gonna be an engine out go around on the RNP approach, circling and out. So that's our profile for today. Let's get back in the cockpit. This is done. Disconnection is requested. Let's put the seatbelt signs on. Fuel pumps are already on. Let's run the cockpit preparation. Air engine covers removed. Fuel quantity is 8,980 kg balance. Seatbelts on. ADRS nav. Baro reference is QH 1013. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Let's get things moving out. Ground services. Please disconnect, connect up. At it. Let's put the beacon on as we are commencing our push and run the before start checklist. Before start, parking brake is set, takeoff speeds and thrust is set. Windows closed, beacon is on. Before start check is complete. Parking brake is released. You can start the push. Let's start our engine. Engine to start. We're departing runway 20 the first time, so let's start moving in that direction. Two seems to have started fine, starting one. Right, I can accept that. The turret is gone. Alright, both engines started. Mode selector is normal. APU bleed is off. APU is off. Um, Spoilers are on. Throttle is neutral. Flaps are to 1. And it was down 0.1, was it? Yeah, it was down 0.1. So that's down 0.1. Let's do a flight control check. Pull up, pull down, neutral, pull left, pull right, neutral, rudder, pull left, pull right, neutral. I need to grease my rudder pedals. It's this dry air that is killing it. Just pumping my rudders so that it gets them nice and greasy. All right, let's run the after start. After start, anti-ice is off. ECAM status is set. Pitch trim 24.3, rudder trim neutral, hand signals and pins are received and sighted. After the check is complete, let's the lights on and get the stocks in. Brakes off. The brakes max. Transponder set. System 1 auto. Awaiting the cabin, so I'm just gonna buzz them. It's gonna be a slightly earlier departure. I can run the taxi checklist to cabin, flight controls check, flight setting config 1, radar indicator ensure on, and auto engine mode selector is normal, e-cabin on, awaiting cabin, holding at e-cabin. Cabin is ready. Let's look outside. The approach path, oopsie. The approach path is clear on 02 and is so clear on 20. Since I'm not on any network, I don't have to worry about that. Strobes are coming on, lights are coming on, all crew takeoff stations. Just run the lineup check. The takeoff run is going to be 20. TCAS is PARA and PAX 1 and 2. But ideally, we should put them off or supply them with the APU. But in this case, I'm keeping them on. Next departures, we're going to use the APU to supply the packs so we get as much performance out of this as possible. Weapons obtain, take off. Stabilized. And Flex 58 SRS auto thrust below. Set 100 knots. V1. Okay. Nice gentle rotation all the way to 15. Also flying get up. Nav. And we'll high flying hand fly out this departure. And remember, in case of an engine failure, any time below 7,500, we just continue orbiting in this valley at 7.5. Max speed during this entire maneuver until we reach above 7.5 is going to be restricted to 180 knots. So we continue climbing at V2 plus 15. There's a little sliver of gap in the valley coming up. That is where, in case of all ops normal, we escape out the valley. Remember, our time on flex or toga is 10 minutes, irrespective of whether using toga or flex is also counted as toga. So that is 10 minutes on single engine or 5 minutes on both engines. So you got to reach 10.5, sorry, above 7.5 before that. All right, we are above 7.5, so we can start proceeding towards dark A. I'm going to get the AP running. And we are sweeping back all the way to Simra, so I'm going to let it be. There's lever climb, first climb out of thrust, and we start accelerating. Let me quickly plan the hold at dark A. That's the computed hold. Let me check. Positive flap 0. That's R2 0. Now we can hide this. We can close this. Kathmandu, approach, VR02. Dark A holders, all turns to the left inbound course 108. So that's inbound course of 108. All turns to the left. That's it. So this, there it is, the lines, lovely hold. And while we're at it, we're going to be proceeding for, let me pin this chart because this is the approach that we're going to be going. We're going to be coming in via Simra, so that's the arrival that we expect. So Simra, from Darke, we proceed back to Simra. So you can either do that or you can either come in via a DME arc. There it is. So we either can go there and then proceed via Ratanguras. So you know what, actually, let me proceed to Simra, and from Simra, let me see if I can plan a viewer approach runway 02. So let's close this for now, viewer 02, and it's going to be approached via Goras, that is correct. And let's insert this two steep path ahead. Yeah, it is a two steep approach. So yeah, as we proceed to Simra, we will proceed after Simra to Ratan and to Goras. I am not sequencing the flight plan as uh, once we do reach Simra, if I'm not ready for the approach, I might join the hold. All right, so there is a little bit of working on this arrival as well. We have to reach Kuras fully configured at our approach speed. So let's run that. So let's run our approach preparations. Carrying out the Fury 02, our final track is going to be 022. So I'm going to set in 022 on the courses on both sides. You can just type in 22. The next is, remember at Guras, we have to be fully configured so that at 9 DMA we commence the approach. So in Guras is 11.5 and fully configured. So let's activate the approach phase on the progress page VNKT 02. On the perf page, activating the approach phase. There we get the transition level is 150. It doesn't bug us. The winds are calm as of now. The temperature is 15 and a QNH is 1013. Commencing this approach, we expect the approach in 4950. We add 50 feet to that, so that becomes an even 5000. And it's going to be a config full landing. We don't try to do a low config landing here because of the high steep. And remember, in the go round, it remains the same. So acceleration is 9500, thrust reduction is 9500. And in case of an engine out, it's going to be 7500. So, though that is said, this is going to be a copy of the active. The approach is fairly simple, so that's really not a cause of concern. And since we are at 13.5, we can start descending to 11.5. That is our altitude for Goras. And I'll open descent. While we're at it, we can remove Simra and then remove this discontinuity from here. Let's see what does that look like. That looks like more accurately. So we do this whole arc, come back in for landing. And because the glide path is very steep, we cannot be doing a fully managed approach. That warrants us to do managed selected approach with a monitoring on the raw. So as we do this, remember it's the initial descent is to 8,900 up till 9 DME. So that's not a very steep descent. That's about almost a 3 degree glide path. But after that, if you look in carefully, it's going to be a 5.31 degree. So once we cross 9, we are literally just diving in the valley. That is all the way up to 3 DME, and then again it reverts back to a 3 degree glide path. So the final approach, that is from 3 miles all the way to touchdown, it is a 3 degree glide path again. Flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. So yeah, that's the standard approach. The first one is going to be a standard auto brake low. Let me keep that medium. And yeah, buzzing the cabin. All lights are already on. Approach briefing is complete. Let's do our approach checklist. Barrow ref QNH is 1013. Seatbelts on. Minimums. Barrow 5000. Auto brake medium. Engine mode selector is normal. Approach checklist complete. Selector 150. And I don't know, but I really like the Himalaya line delivery. It's really, really nice, and it really depicts the whole mountainous approach of the Himalayas. As we approach Kuras, gas coming down, boilers are on, lights are on. You can really see the drag increasing. So the gear is down, flaps three, flaps full. I'll take once I'm just about commencing my descent after Kuras. So with that said, next altitude is 8,900, which is set. This and as we do this, we seem to be coming in somewhere over there. And at Kuras, managing the speed, I can select track FPA, FPA -3. I'm just waiting to approach Kuras so as to commence our descent. And the initial descent is not very steep, as again, from 17 Duras all the way till 90 ME, it's only about 8,900 from 11.5. And you're covering almost close to what, 16 miles, 6 miles, sorry, 8 miles. So that's not very, very steep. It's only after that wherein the dive starts, and a pretty severe one actually. And terrain is on both sides. Gauges. And yeah, since I have not done this, I can put in my speed at this one here at what's my approach speed again? 132. 132. Let's insert this. All right, as we approach Kuras, FPA -3. I'm just waiting for point 3 over at Kuras, so that gives me a nice continuous descent without me leveling off. FPS full, flaps full, landing checklist, ECAM to come up, cabin is ready, landing checklist complete. So we are presently just crossing Kuras. We'll be descending all the way to 90 ME at 8,500. So not a very, very steep descent, fairly manageable and easy. And you do get the VDEV to cheat around a little bit. Uh, but yeah, unfortunately, we cannot use its guidance because of the steep approach that this approaches. Ideally, we used to be descending on the 737 at about 1,000 feet per minute. 1,000 to about 1,200, that will get you to FT, that is this point at 8,900. Increasing the rate of descent about 3.2. Just as a reminder, the go round tells us that we climb straight ahead. Basically, we make this curving approach. Right turn max 185 onto the 40 MA arc. Do not exceed 5 DME under any circumstances. So remember, the 40 MA arc is still there. Crossing radial 070, that is about here. Turn right on establish 0105 inbound. Thereafter, I'm at 70, then 288 to target 10,500. So go round is going to be 10.5. Right, as we approach 8,900, let's shallow descend a little bit. And remember, the number we're looking for is 5.31, so about 5.3. All star, next altitude I'm setting as 5,000, which is my minimums. I am crossing FD, and there it goes. Here we start our steep approach. That's 5.3. Remember checking out the radio altimeter all throughout, so it's decreasing from about 15,000 is about the lowest that you should be seeing. You should not be seeing anything lower than 1,000. So yeah, as we continue our dive, let's increase that about 5.4 or 5.5. Remember, the high DME checks are mandatory here, so we constantly keep looking out for them as we descend into the valley. There it is. And this has to be maintained all the way till about 3 DME. And after 3 DME, we can flatten our out again back to 3 degree glide path. Well, hanging a little above the profile here. Maybe I can go down a little more. I wouldn't really like to go then more than 0.3 more than what the profile says. As we approach 4 DME, we are still on profile. Remember 3 DME, and we bring up back up to 3 degree again. Three DME back to 3 degrees. Final flight. FT's off. Code is on. Final track is set. And our goal on altitude is 10,500, which is set. Alrighty, let's land this. Runway straight ahead. We got 2 white, 2 red, which is nicely on the profile. Continue. Back. That's 3 reds correcting. Back on profile. Settle down. Spoilers, reverse green, these are very low. Spoilers, this flaps are back to one. Yeah, my landings are not the best here. So yeah, quite floaty, almost just a little short of the last marker, or actually on the no, there was a marker ahead. So yeah, could do better on the landings. Time for some fun now again. With the air conditioning on, I'm sweating here. I'm gonna line up 2-0 and wait while I take a short break, just turn the air conditioning on and come back and have some fun in the engine out departures. Right, I'll just be right back. All right, let's go. Let's quickly set up a flight plan again. That's the init page VNKT/VNKT. No alternate Rockefeller. 1, 2, 3. What's next? About 10. We're going to be climbing now, this time 10,500. I am going to initialize the weights. Temperatures 15. Departures runway 20 again, the dot Q1 alpha, the transition to Simra. Let's insert that all the waypoints are cross check, we proceed to Simra. And on the MCU menu, initializing fuel, putting back 9 tons. The zero remains the same. Right now it's going to be KTM. And yeah, that's pretty much a turn back. So okay, but the whole sim is frozen. But MCU menu does not seem to be working. Can I move any of these bugs? No, I cannot. Have I toggled the pause? No, I have not. Hmm, interesting. I can move the controls. Everything else seems to be frozen. Wow, I'm gonna have to restart the sim, or maybe just respawn on runway 20 because this does not seem to be working. I remember having one this one time before, and I do not know how that got fixed. I think that was they just fixed itself. So yeah, let me into main menu. Phoenix really doesn't sometimes like um, the whole landing reconfiguring. Maybe FSI panel will be able to solve that. Let's just spawn at the runway because we know exactly what we're doing. So that's departure. The flight conditions are not going to be live. The time can be live, but the flight conditions can be few clouds. Let's fly. Just quickly run everything. And I can go here. I can go sim state and sorry, final state, and I can be ready. And I activate this so everything lights up nice and sweet. And while I'm at it, I can just cross check everything here. Up looks all right. The seatbelt signs are on, strobes are on, beacons on, all lights are on. Everything else looks all right. Coming down here, oh, not that. And the altitude is going to be 10,500. Constraints will come on. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. And I'm just waiting for this to initialize. Let me just quickly initialize my FMS. FMGS init VNKT slash VNKT or Rockefeller 3. That was the next of 10, climbing to 10,500. Ground temperature is about 15. We're gonna be departing. What? I am initializing. Wait, if you could just give me a second. 15. We're gonna be departing runway 20. The RK1 Alpha transition Simra. Let's insert that. Let's go to config fuel. I need about 9 tons of fuel and about 50 tons of zero. That gives me a nice 59 tons of takeoff weight. So the fuel prediction with the zero fuel weight of 50/26.6. Fuel 9 tons is observed, and it gave me 1/down 0.1, flex of 68, 37, 40, and 40. That looks all right. Flight plan, KTM fix info 4 on the radius. So we get a nice arc of about 4 miles because that's what we're going to be requiring to stay in. Since that is on right now, is KTM. So, and I'm going to plan a return back. So I'm just putting KTM 22 at the back. This is done. This is done. Every constraint snap 40. Initial to 10,500 is set. Auto brakes max. Pointers are armed. That's our deal. Yeah, I'm gonna buzz them. Or take off on foot test. Intervention is coming on. The gas is already on. Wait, let's program our failure. So we go to the MCD menu, config, failure, and we're gonna lose an engine. So engines and EIU engine failure. It's gonna be so this is engine failure with or without damage. So Kathmandu is known for its birds. We can simulate a bird strike. Since would anybody like a left or a right? If anybody's watching this, you can poll in, and the first guy gets to choose. What do you guys think, left or right? All right. If there were no responses, let's take the left engine out. And we're not going to do it immediately. We're going to do it It's going to be the left engine, and I have changed this. It gives me the options of I want a left engine bird strike, and I want it above a particular IAS at a particular altitude, below or after so and so minutes. So let's put in our speed. So our V2 speed is 140, and our V1 is 137. So let's fail this at about 145 knots. So the moment we cross 145 knots, it's gonna arm this failure, and we're gonna be single engine over here. All right, the cabin is still being weighted. We are gonna consider that the cabin is ready. All right, let's have some fun, and remember, the APO needs to be on and supplying the bleeds. The packs. And the APU is up and running. Let's put the APU bleed on. The APU is being supplied by, sorry, the packs are being supplied by the APU. All checks from my side look all right. So we can proceed with our test. All right, the failure's on. We are ready to go. Lights are on. Stabilized. And flag 50, correction 68 SRS run correction auto thrust blue. $100 knots. V1, rotate. For supply, get up. Nav, there it is. Engine fail. Trying to central beta target. Just keep the positive rate going. That's too much rudder. Alright, start making the turn. And since we do not have, we cannot be following the departure, I'm going to put the FTs off and start flying her on the bird. Look at that, how much performance just goes out of the window just by losing an engine. And remember, it's the 4 DME arc that we have to maintain, so gotta use as much of it. So I'm going to Toga, man Toga. And if you're able to notice that I was just trimming the rudder there, and on a nice hot day, this climb can be excruciatingly shallow. And alright, so we're above 400 feet. While I'm in the turn, we can also carry out the ECAM actions, which are engine mode selector, to ignition start, thrust lever 1 idle, thrust lever 1 confirm, idle, engine master 1 off, engine master 1 confirm, off. If damage, alright, we didn't hear a damage, so I'm gonna consider no damage. If no damage, engine 1 relight, consider, check, roll over. Engine 1 relight, consider, check. Secondary failures, landing sap, amber, air bleed, APU supplying to both the bleeds, so that's alright. Clear air, clear bleed. ELEC, APU supplying to AC bus 1, clear ELEC. Hydraulic, PTU supplying the green system, clear hydraulic, clear. Status, top status, we do not have any normal checklist pending. And we will consider a relight, so we're going to stop this status as we will consider a relight in this scenario. So hold the procedure at status, and you can remove the status for now. We will review it later. All right, all the way. So that's a 4-mile radius that we have to be in, and that keeps us well clear of the entire valley that we need to be out of. So we continue climbing all the way here until we are out of 7,500. Remember, the beta target centering is a task for me in this sim for now. And there it is. Centering the beta target gives you the most optimum side slip. So that's what we aim at. Remember, the maximum deviation from the KTM VR is 4 miles. I'm just trying to be reasonable and be inside that. Anyway, I wasn't a V2 at 140, so we can't be below that. So let me just accelerate about V2. Now imagine we're not very heavy today. We're about only about 59 tons of weight, and the temperature is also it's not the hottest day in Kathmandu. We take off at much higher temperature, so the performance, and remember the bleeds are supplying the pack. So this is the performance that you can expect getting out of Kathmandu on a single engine. All right, to get the other input, I'm only requiring about 7. In real life, it's more like 12 or 15 that is required to maintain a steady single engine at V2. Remember, our lowest speed is V2. We should not be ideally be below V2. So that's 140. So I'm going to try and maintain 140 to get the best performance out. And as we sneak up to 6,500, maintain that nice shallow turning bank so that remember, the more the bank, the more we lose lift in the shallow my climb rate will be. This way I can assure myself that I'm going to be well within the area of operations and be comfortably flying this. That's the beauty of the Airbus, that I don't need to really look in. I can continue to select my profile that I want from the airplane and pretty much go hands off. The airplane has a tendency of continuously trying to pitch above what I'm trying to set it to. Now you can see our engine's almost. That's also another reason why we get so much drag. The engine's not even windmilling, so it's like a big barn door that has that's stuck up. We assume that I'm going to be clear of the valley at 7,500, so I can tell this that I'm going to be proceeding to DME 20. So it's going to prepare a nice track for me, and let me push to nav. That sequences in, and yeah, I can now proceed to the point that I need. It just likes to pitch up for some reason. I would not like to go below my V2 speed. if these are going off, they're gonna continue to hand fly this. All right, as I am above 7.5, I can level off, accelerate, clean up. And once I'm above my green dot speed, I can select open climb and thrust to MCT, because I should be approaching my 10-minute timer as well. Let's see, can I use the advantage of this? Let's see, VS0, Mantoga VS0 heading AP1. Nav, so my dark A altitude is about 10,500. That's like really poor performance. I'm barely able to accelerate. So you know what? If I'm not able to accelerate, I'm gonna continue climbing at the S speed. So that's activating approach phase. Reading S speed. Open climb. Thrust MCT. I should not be getting man flex for sure. And I should be at S speed. I should not be going below that. So that's not really correct profiling. Let me plan my hold at dark if I can still. 108. Small turn to the left. Insert. There it is. See how the speed continuously keeps dropping, so I'm gonna have to push to level off. Yeah, 0. We're gonna join the hold so that we can get some climb out going. Accelerate. Mantoga. he starts accelerating a lot better than Flex. That should be Flex MCT. All right, we can continue the ECAM since there is no damage. We can read the status. If engine one damage, if no engine one damage, so we are suspecting a damage. Consider engine on radar. We're going to disregard that one pack only if wing anti-ice is on and Cat3 single. No resistance or Cat3 dual engine one bleed, Gen 1, correction, green engine one pump. Remove status. ECAM actions are complete. As we continue with doing our forex, so we're going to be presently in a hold in dark cave. We're going to be eventually be proceeding out of the hold and then carrying out the. I mean, we're considering that we're not diverting to either Varanasi or Lucknow, and we're going to be landing single engine back into Kathmandu. So for that, let's start preparing our approach. The first things first, let's calculate a landing distance. That can we make it with the single engine into Kathmandu? So for that, landing performance, we're landing on runway 02. The report conditions are dry, apply the METAR, and we are engine shut down. Not that. It's not really going to make a difference. What's my landing weight going to be? I departed with a zero fuel weight of 50, and I'm expecting to touch down with I'm going to burn around in the 500 kgs, so it's 7.7 tons. So let's make it 57 tons, even number. And it's going to be an auto brake low, idle reverse. No, it's going to be max reverse, flaps full. 57. No, oh, it's not going to accept 57 tons. I think it's up top. It should be able to. 57.0. Yeah, with auto brakes medium, I should be able to land this approach. Let's plan our approach. KTM arrivals, VR02. No star, and it's going to be a VR Bora. Let's insert this. That should look all right on my flight plan. And since I'm approaching 10,500, I can proceed direct to the next waypoint, which is T270 Tango. Let's select that. Let's insert that as we climb out. Start speed. And I can remove Stimra because I'm not going to be proceeding there, and I can remove this discontinuity so I can get a nice continuous arrival. So if you look, we're just gonna make the sweeping turn that we did the last time and come in for a landing here. And while we're at it, I can also accelerate to my green dot speed, which is 201. So let me pull the speed. Cool. That's positive, flight 0. Duration S positive. Alright, let's enter our destination data. So transition level is 150. The winds are calm. The temperature is standard of 15 and the QNH is 1013. Approach minimums on the barrow are going to be 5000, which is already what we are planning, and rest everything looks all right. The ride nav is tuned and identified. It's going to be VNKT 02. Everything here looks all right. Remember, the lowest reduction altitude is 9500 / 9500, and our engine out is going to be, in case if we do end up going around, we're going to do the same thing exactly again. Take over manually and try and find the approach. That's done. What's left is to reach Guras and start flying this approach again. Remember, we have a couple of checklists to run. So one is the engine shutdown checklist. The only emphasis item on that is that if in case fire push button is pressed, do not supply engine 1 bleed. The cross bleed is going to remain shut. That's not our case, so we're going to leave it open. The next thing is the foredeck. We've considering that we've completed foredeck and we are considering to land back in Kathmandu. We've already catered our landing performance and the weather has not deteriorated further, so we will continue for an approach there. The next thing is doing our approach checklist, which is Barrow QNH 1013, seatbelts on, minimums are Barrow 5000, auto brake medium, engine mode select and ignition start. Approach checklist complete. So here's the acronym that we use, OWL. So we've done the approach checklist. We are not doing an overweight landing, so it's not going to be an overweight land checklist. The landing checklist is remaining. The one engine straight in approach is going to be commenced, and which is basically if low level off is expected, you can select config full if level off is expected. Delay config full until your final approach is established. So with that done, we are only left with the landing checklist and making all our relevant announcements, such as informing the crew with a night's briefing, informing the passengers, informing our company, and informing the ATC that we're coming in with a single engine. Alright, as we approach Kuras, let's start slowing down. Coach phase is activated. Flaps 1, speed check. Flaps 1. Status, there are no changes in status. All relevant items have been reviewed. Remove status. You can see the engine's pretty much stuck in the position that it was. It was not even windmilling. The damage because of the bird strike is quite extensive. Flaps 2, flaps. Alrighty, as we approach, let me just pull the speed because it suddenly starts dropping pretty rapidly. As we are approaching Guras, I'm going to set the next altitude of 8,900. Set. The next one's going to be interesting. The next one we're going to try and do the RNP approach. You know what we'll do is we'll carry out a missed approach here. Let's hide this. And it tells me to proceed to dark A. And what we'll do is on the return, we will carry out the RNP 20, which is also a really interesting approach. The RNP 20 basically tells you that doing this whole maneuver. So that's really nice and an interesting one. Alright, we're approaching Guras. Gear is coming down. Spoilers are on. Lights are on. And look at that, I'm almost reaching the limits of my MCD of 90.2 just to maintain this. That is exactly why we don't configure early. Three, left full. Speed is managed. Look at around 1,000 feet per minute. It's doing like 84% power. That is the level of performance that you can expect of deterioration. Phoenix is a little exaggerated, so maybe not so much, but yeah. Darn. Now this is what happens if a level of is expected. I cannot maintain clubs full. That's way too much drag. So I put I will have to retract them back to 3 so that I can accelerate to about F speed, because with flaps full, there is no way she will maintain level flight with, sorry, flaps full. All right. I think I descended a little too early this time. This is the peak that we will be crossing at about 1,000 feet of separation. We expect an FP of minus 5.03. FP full, flaps full. Let's start descending. Go on altitude is 10.5. Set. All right, cabin check is considered received. Back. So that was a little, that's the lowest that you should ideally be on this approach. FP minus 5.2, 1.1. Let's make that 5. And I wouldn't like to go any lower than that, because then you end up chasing it at the end. Quite a decent imbalance. I'm gonna put the cross speed on. Right, since the profile is now sneaking down, let's start getting it back early. At 5 miles, we are on profile at 6640. Pro landing stations, in case if they've still not managed to secure themselves. All right, 4 miles lifestyle check is 6080. And since we are on profile, I can set it to about 3 and 5 controls. And we can go FD is going off, bird is on. I'm slightly off the center line. I'll correct that. And come back on a nice 3-degree glide path for a landing. There you can see the play that is required to maintain this landing. So I'm already getting below profile, so correcting for that. Back. Continue. Oops. Everything just froze here for a second. All right, we're coming in nice and proper. Not to increase our rate of descent. Back. Correcting for the profile, 3 whites. Oh, that's a little too much correction. I am coming in with a slight bank because of the whole. All right, our trim is going to 0. Sweet. There's a little foam on the landing there. I mean, for the was windy, so. All right, not bad, not bad. A very firm landing, I must say, but um, apart from that, not a bad approach. I do need to work on my landing. Same here. All right, so next approach, we're gonna do a normal takeoff, join the hold at Simra, and come in for a single engine approach, carry out a missed approach on the single engine just to see how it works. So for that, I'm gonna have to respawn because somehow Phoenix just doesn't like me doing uh, just a restart of the sim from the holding point or from the dumbbell. So that is fine. And for the weather, it is few clouds. The time can be light. And let's go. And this is going to be a last approach for the practice because that's what we will be training in to do today. I mean, not tomorrow, but rather very soon. All right, let's look up. Everything here is fine. It is set up. Lovely. Everything up is fine. Let's put all our lights on. Everything else looks all right. The engine gen is coming in. All right, let's let be in it. It's gonna be VNKT dash VNKT. Come on. It's gonna be Rockefeller 123 with a cost index of 10. Now we're gonna be climbing 10,500 again. And the temperature is 15 in Kathmandu. I'm planning the K1 Alpha. And the transition is similar. Let's insert that. The rad number is KTM. And it's going to be 22. KTM and 22. Oops. GPS is primary. Let's initialize our weights. Config fuel. I want 9 tons of fuel and about 50 tons of the zero. So fuel prediction 50/26.6. Fuel is already taken in 1/done.1 68 137 137 and 140. All right, now accuracy is upgraded. All right, sweet. In this instance, we will do failures. Next page. Actually, let's do a fire. Let's do an engine fire. It's not going to be immediate, it's going to be conditional. Let's do an engine 2 fire this time. And it's going to be when I'm about to cross 7,500. So above 7,500, the moment I cross 7,500, it's going to It's gonna go bing, 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 bing. Sweet. The altitude set is 10,500. If these constraints, and spoilers are on, flaps are coming to 1. Auto brakes, max, takeoff config test, and not 2. Come back to 1. Auto. All right. Everything here looks all right. Line map blue 152, QNH is 1013, 10,500, 147, 140. And let's buzz the crew, all crew takeoff stations. And let's go. Park brake is off, 50%. Come on, let's go. Don't tell me the chocks are in place. Yep, there it is. Alpha 68 SRS runway correction. SRS auto thrust blue. Trust set. $100 knots checked. E1 rotate. Positive climb, get up, nav. Considering this is a normal departure, AP is coming on. AP1. The climb. Oh, it's supposed to be 7,500. I forgot to change that, so I'm gonna keep it at flex. There it is, the engine fire. Alright. Engine 2 fire, master warning is cancelled. Thrust lever 2 idle. Thrust lever 2 is idle. Toga on 1, man toga. And there she loses her performance. Alright, engine master 2 off, engine master 2 confirm off, engine 2 fire, push button, push, engine 2 fire, push button, push. Agent 1 after 7 seconds, discharge. Agent 1 discharge. That's Agent 1 discharge. ATC notify. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Rockefeller 123, departure on Dark K1 Alpha, engine 1, correction, engine 2 fire. We'll be proceeding to Semra for the hold to come back for the landing. If fire after 14 seconds, Agent 2 discharge. That's the warning. Ask the question. Cancel. All right. Agent 2 discharge. Agent 2 is discharged. Clear engine 2 fire. Clear engine 2. Engine 2 shut down. Engine mode selector ignition. Ignition. If no fuel leak. Let's check out. The fuel is rather balanced and we should be having about 8.6 on board, so no fuel leak. Imbalance monitor TCAS mode selector TA. So that's going to TA. If buffet max speed 240 knots, we are not experiencing any buffet. Avoid icing conditions. Copied. Clear engine 2. Clear engine 2. Secondary failures none is right. Mayday is declared. Airblade. Engine 1 supplying to pack 1. Clear air. Electrical. Generator 1 supplying to both AC buses. So starting the APU. And clear elec. Hydraulic. Green system supplying to the yellow via the PTU. Clear hydraulic. Clear hydraulic. Status. Stop status. There are no pending checklists or normal procedures pending. Reach status. Avoid landing conditions. If severe ice secretion, minimum speed. VLS plus 10 off green dot. Maneuver with care. Landing distance procedure apply. We will do that. Cat3 single. We have a whole list of inoperative systems. We're going to read each one of them and remove status. Remove status. ECAM actions are complete. APU is coming online. This should not really happen. At 9.5, I set it to this, push to level off. Yeah, 0. Hopefully I can get her to accelerate a little. All right, the next step is calculating a landing performance on a single engine. We did calculate the last time, so I'm assuming it's going to remain the same. And let's just prepare an MCDU. So, flight plan arrival Kathmandu. It's going to be the RNAV 20 via Simra. Let's insert that. So let's see what do we get. Yeah, there it is. Simra Ratan Puras. Speed error. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. And while we're at it, we can proceed to Daphne. Oh no, that's on the go around. So we will come in something like that. So you know what? Let's have a look. The RNP 20. All right, so we come in via Daphne. Okay, so yeah, we do come in via Daphne, and then join the hold at Puras. So why is this not working out? Arrivals RNP 20 via Daphne. There it is. So that makes sense. And since we are there, we can proceed direct to there's Daphne. There's Daphne. So there it is. We will do this whole approach for KTM 20. Wait, let's plan this in case of for a backup for 02 in case if F2 was circling. We will plan to do the viewer approach and circle into land. Let's act. I'm just gonna wait for this. All right. Next phase. It's 150. Let me start accelerating so I can retract my flaps. Winds are calm. The temperature is 15 with a QNH of 1013. And our approach minimums on the Currently approach R, lap 0, speed check, lap 0. 4705, so it's gonna be 4755. Done. Secondary is a copy of the active. Let's go. Accurate approach phase confirmed. Now this approach, unfortunately, we have to do it using since it's an um, first climb. Sorry, open climb. Come on. Open climb, thrust MCT. Why the thrust go all the way to idle? Let's have a look up. The fire is still there. Wow. We gotta put her down like now. MCT. All right, rocket level 123 is proceeding direct 936. We'll have to cut short a little because the fire is still there. Install. Oh, fantastic. Talk about losing multiple things at once. Descend to 10,300. All star. We should be coming in our descent. Final lap speed. Well, let's start configuring flaps 1. Alright, we have completed all of this. Let's remove the status. We check flaps 2. Gear down. Let me just make a quick KTM 4 miles for the go around. It is on flaps 3, flaps full. Let's see how the performance goes on this RNP approach. You can see the rudder is slightly deflected to counter the very high thrust that is being required right now. Oh, why is my VDEV deviating? That should not be happening. Okay, let's just wait and watch. The VDEV should not be behaving like that because it needs to be centered because I need to make these points as they are. Let me try and reduce some drag if I can. There's a problem with the drag of the airplane. Where exactly is this going? Okay. It does go in quite a bit out before it comes into land. Right, the golden altitude is 10,500. Why was there a motor version? Why do we get so many motor versions? See, becoming a pretty steep descent from here. Supposed to be 7,900 above the PDF profile, and this is definitely not looking all right. All right, time for manual control. Manual controls. I'm just cheating my way through the VDF profile, which for some reason has just not kept up to the mark. There it is. I mean, on approach, this should be centered. That gives you a nice clean descent. Right. Mhm. Disregard. All the way over there. Hey, there we have it. Almost a push path is nice and lit. There's the runway as we make our turn into the finals. Shoot here, coming back, correcting, continue. Toga, land Toga, SRS, go on track. Flaps 3, positive climb, get up. And just so we can reduce the drag a little bit, we're going to reduce the flaps further to 2. And we're doing the same procedure that is circling in the valley. So FTs are going off, bird is coming on. And I'm going to use as much of it as I can by just climbing straight ahead. Maybe start a turn at about 2.5, 3 miles KTM. Climb, that's about 3 miles. Remember, we have to stay within 4 miles. As I'm approaching 3 miles, start a gradual turn about 10 degrees to the right and continue climbing. Level again. And remember, once we do cross 7,500, even if we are in the middle of the turn, we can't turn left. So we'll have to sweep in right only. We're approaching 7.5. That's a 7.5. So we can level off and accelerate. We can auto manually accelerate as well. Alright, F positive flaps 1. All right. Put the FTs back on. Let's set this to FPA -3 and let's go direct. What's the point again? Are we expecting out of here? This one right here. When it is sending KT 916. You want to find it on? Yes, positive flight 0. Green dot. That's open climb. First MCT. Man drop. First MCT. And we come back for another approach. So that's the entire training into Kathmandu that we do, so as to avoid this whole pole that is there. It's rather interesting on this viewer 2.0 because you actually end up doing at least 2 orbits, if not more. But yeah, this was interesting. Just so that we can do another approach and landing. Let's see. But there was a way of doing a visual approach here, but that was for 0.2, and doing that on 2.0 won't really be effective. We used to have a circling approach long back, wherein we used to sweep in from the right side, something very similar to the RMP approach, and land onto 2.0. But that got banned rather quickly because of people trying to really scooch the mountain and end up touching a wing or so. We climb out. Phoenix is performing a lot better now on this approach, at least. At least we're accelerating. Alright, constraints released, that's alright. Performance activating approach phase confirmed. What was the issue again? Fire, yeah. Let me just clear that. Config, failures, clear, fire, clear, clear. Yeah, our engine should rather be available. So let's get the engine running if we can. Starting the APU, starting the bleed. Engine to start. That valve not open. Why? Oh, of course, it open. First line. Oh, come on. The engine should start. There is no reason why the engine should not start. I know. All hey, why won't the engine start? All right, let's have a look. Failures. We have no active failures as of now, so we can until unless it's reported a random failure, which I have not set it to. Interesting. The APU bleed is on. Oops, my bad. Should start up now. Engine 2 start. There it is. Fuel flow. AGT. Yeah. What was great. I know. The engines are coming. Nice. Gen 2 sucks. Gen 2 fault. Okay. Yeah, it'll catch in as soon as the engine stabilizes. Alright, the engine looks nice and stabilized. Gen 2 off, then on. Wait, that we are all set. Let's quickly run for an approach. It's neutral. So many Daphnes. Let's see if she can do any better on two engines. No sim sound, really? Okay, let me see. How do I fix this? Interesting. I was not aware of that. Settings, audio. Uh, it's a default. That is really interesting. Tell me if you hear this. That won't happen in the air. That should happen in the air. Okay, OBS isn't picking any sound. Okay, that is interesting. You're right. It should pick up air. 0 out of 5. All right. Let me see what I can do to this. Audio monitoring is. It's like 20. Yeah, rather quiet. Let me see. I'm gonna have to fix this maybe. I'm gonna have to use the expertise of Ritwik. He's pretty good at all this. But for my life, I can't figure out why there is no sim sound. I did not notice this, in fact. Every time I try to fix something, something else breaks. So wait, are you not getting sim sound because of this? Thanks, Satan. I will try to have a nice one. Alright, speed is get some hits. Try to get rid of the cold. Yeah, everybody seems to be down with a cold for some reason. I don't know why, but that is just how it is. Already, but it seems to have got the audio back on. One, speak correct, that's one. Two, speak correct, that's two. Come on, get the final. Ah, there it is. Yeah, you know what? Let's accelerate to about 180. And let's do this approach at 180. Positive flux 1. Since we have the engine back, let's put this to ARA. Really maintaining the profile well. So yeah, you're supposed to be 8800 above at 442, and we are 8800 above. Number of final fix over here is going to be 419, which is all the way here. Flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2.
2,500.
Correct. Okay, it's coming down. That's 3. Flaps full. Let's get this bad boy down. Right. Ui, that was a little aggressive on my part.
Priority left.
There's a runway in the backdrop that we will be trying to land on.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Thought I disabled you. Did I?
Speed.
Come gust.
Speed.
Alpha floor, I know.
Speed. 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 Speed.
Change the realistic settings again.
500. 100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
One hundred. 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
My fuel. What did we do? A pretty smooth landing and just a little ahead of the touchdown zone, so not too bad, not too bad. Wicked. One after landing checks. Lights. This looks done. Start deboarding. We connect stairs. Open all our doors. Welcome to Kathmandu on this lovely test flight, practicing some single engines. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you.